Bannayuganda mwenna naddala bannakampala twala omukisa guno okusooka okubuuzayoza olwa ekkula lino gye tutuuseeko oluguudo lwaffe luno oluyita waggulu oba zimuyita mubire mu bye baakazaako flyover. Ekigendererwa kyasooka 1 kukendeeza ku mujjuzo ogw'emmotoka mu kibuga, 2 tugezaako okutuukanya omutindo gw'ekibuga gwaffe ku mitindo gy'ensi yonna, kubanga world over kati olaba nti enguudo abamu ffe kiraba tukyalina kano kamu naye bannaffe oyinza okulinnya enguudo 6 nga ziri mubire, kubanga tokyasobola kukendeeza mujjuzo ng'okyatambulira horizontal nga kind nti development yaffe eri horizontal, ffe tutunuulira wansi tetukyasobola either ogenda waggulu oba ogenda wansi. Kakati olwokuba nti wansi tekinologi oba ne system eyo eri expensive nnyo tubadde tunagituukako, kati soke tugezeeko waggulu. Kati kilomita zino zigenda kubanga 4 kubanga eno phase 1, phase 2 egenda tandika y'ensonga mwalabye nti bannaffe aba electoral commission basenguse katutandise phase 2 bali mu kuggyawo utility facilities, mazzi, masanyalaze, biki loko yeri mukola omulimu ogwo, then tulyoka tugende mu maaso. UNRA nga kirambika entambula, oluguudo lwo baalusibye abantu basobole bwe bava eri bwe bateeka Kibuye basobole okukozesa ring road oba beetooloola ekibuli bajje bagwe wano engenda muwongo awo ne batuule. Olw'ensonga kati tutandise okukola okuteekako okumaliriza omulimu nga tusuubira okunatuukira omwezi gw'omukaaga pulezidenti ajja tuba akwasa Kampala ekirabo ky'oluguudo luno.
Nkolanga driver wa taxi ne mu paaka nkolanga obwa security dda ku ntegeka yaayo engeri gye bagizimbyemu. Tusuubira Yesu kubanga bagazizza enguudo noteeka abatambuze bwe batambulira ku flyover tuyinza okufunamu olw'ensonga bagazizza amakubo eziva gundi eziva eggaba zitambula bulungi n'eziva ente zijja kuba zitambula bulungi kati nga nze ensonga ekijja kunnyamba.
Well, that's what's happening in the city. We thank God for those flyovers, and we know the problem of traffic jam will be properly addressed. Now, moving on, in a related development, the government of Uganda has ordered the Ministry of Energy to sign and grant license to the oil pipeline construction to the East African Crude Oil Company Limited. This was reached on earlier this week with the purpose of promoting transparency and sustainability between the two countries and joint commitment to develop the project in a harmonized manner. On the 9th of May 2023, which is this year, Uganda will host the 10th East African Petroleum Conference and Exhibition under the theme East Africa as a hub for investment in exploration, exploitation of petroleum resources for sustainable energy and social development. And this conference will focus on showcasing the East African community as a destination of choice for oil and gas investment opportunities to enhance socio-economic transformation, among others. Well, we'll now look at the fuel prices around the city from major fuel stations. To stay tuned to Channel 44 and see where you can buy fuel at lesser prices as the prices keep fluctuating. Stay tuned and see where you can buy fuel, especially if you are a motorist. Thank you for staying tuned to Channel 44. We still bring you business news, and in our international business news segment this afternoon, the United States has hit its debt limit, with the Treasury Department now taking measures to prevent a potentially devastating default. Reaching the debt ceiling means the government is not allowed to borrow any more money unless Congress agrees to suspend or change the cap, which currently stands at almost $31.4 trillion. Typically, that is what happens. Since 1960, politicians have moved to raise, extend or revise the definition of the debt limit 78 times, including 3 just in the last 6 months. Fresh tensions in Congress, where Republicans recently took control of the House of Representatives and are calling for spending cuts, have raised concerns that politicians will delay acting this time, potentially leading the U.S. to intentionally default for the first time in its history. For most of the people in the United States, the impact should be barely noticeable, at least in the first few months. Still in the United States, U.S. air safety officials say that the glitch that led to travel chaos at airports last week was actually caused by a contractor deleting files on a crucial computer server used by pilots. The Federal Aviation Administration said the worker unintentionally deleted the files on the Notice to Air Missions NOTAM database. The system alerts pilots to potential hazards on flight routes, and they are required to check it before flights. Lawmakers vowed to look into the issue. More than 11,000 flights were delayed, and at least 1,300 were cancelled on the 11th of January after the NOTAM system went offline a day earlier. The technical issues marked the first time since the attacks on 11 September 2001 that flights across the U.S. were grounded. The FAA said that their contract employee, who was not identified, deleted the files while working to synchronize the primary and backup NOTAM databases. Bankruptcy crypto exchange FTX's new chief executive, John Ray, is looking into the possibility of reviving the platform. He told the Wall Street Journal that he has set up a task force to explore restarting FTX.com to recover more value for people who lost money. A year ago, FTX was valued at $32 billion, but it filed for bankruptcy protection in November. It has been estimated that $8 billion worth of funds was missing. Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder and former chief executive of the exchange, has been accused of defrauding customers and investors to pay debts incurred by his crypto-focused hedge fund, Alameda Research. He has pleaded not guilty to fraud charges. The future of customer funds, however, remains unclear. Well, let's look at today's financial highlights. Stay tuned to Channel 44. Get to know how much the dollar is trading against major world currencies here on Channel 44 Business News. Still in our international business news update, Irish Prime Minister Leo Varadkar has said he regrets the protocol being imposed on Northern Ireland without the support of unionists and nationalists. He told the press the measure was working, but said he understood why unionists felt it had weakened the union. The protocol, which keeps Northern Ireland aligned with some EU trade rules post-Brexit, has been the source of tension since it was enacted in 2021. Unionist parties argue that it undermines Northern Ireland's place with the United Kingdom. Mr. Varadkar became Prime Minister of Ireland for the second time last month. He previously served in the role between 2017 and 2020 and therefore played a part in the Brexit talks that ultimately led to the creation of the protocol. While the protocol has been in place for more than a year, it remains a point of contention, with the talks continuing between the UK and the EU to find a resolution. It is an agreement between the EU and the UK which always allows goods to be transported across the Irish land border without the need for checks. Before Brexit, it was easy to transport goods across this border because both sides followed the same EU rules, but after the UK left, special trading arrangements were needed so that this could still happen.
I do have regrets, and the regret that I have is that in the same way Brexit was imposed on Northern Ireland without the support of both communities, the protocol was imposed on Northern Ireland without the support of two communities, and that wasn't possible at the time for various reasons, in part because the executive was not functioning, so there was no one to speak for Northern Ireland, but that has created difficulties. Economically, broadly speaking, the protocol is working. There's no hard border between North and South. The single market's integrity has been protected. The Northern Ireland economy is outperforming the UK economy, but I can understand how unionists and unionist politicians feel that the protocol has lessened the links, weakened the union between Northern Ireland.
Well, that brings us to the end of this afternoon's business news segment. Thank you for watching Channel 44. We'll meet again on Monday with fresh news, fresh business news. Do not forget to join us this evening here at the Miracle Center Cathedral in a miracle overnight. There will be great revival sessions. There will be a dream interpretation, deliverance sessions, healing, and many things. There will also be Holy Communion. So join us once again. Your life will not remain the same again. Pastor Robert Kayanja will be ministering, and of late the presence of God has been strong in our midst and delivering many. God bless you. I remain Mercy Gashegu Sembatia together with Livingstone Kawesi. Enjoy your evening.